Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a little different than my normal tutorial video kind of things. Today's video I'm going to be kind of debugging a program that I built a long time ago that a client got back to me and said, hey, we found that there's this issue now that we changed our process. Can you update the program to accommodate the change we made? So essentially, I hope you guys find it interesting, and let's just get started. So here is what the program looks like, or at least the main screen. I've written this program using a programming language called AutoHotkey. If you're not familiar with AutoHotkey, I would just Google AutoHotkey, and there's probably a better description there. But essentially, it's a language that allows you to emulate key presses, mouse movements, and it's a general purpose scripting language as well. So you could write programs of any kind with it pretty much. It's really cool. If you use Windows, I recommend checking it out. It's really fun if you like to build macros or assign custom hotkeys to stuff like that. It's pretty neat. But anyways, I use AutoHotkey to build a lot of automation solutions for clients, or at least I used to, and I still support those clients. So essentially, if they want to automate a process that they do in their system to make it simpler for their users or to save them time, they can come to me, supply me with the process, and I can take that process and automate it, assuming there's a fixed set of inputs and a fixed set of outputs that I can produce a defined process for. So essentially, in this case, the process that they had me automate was they place POs and send those POs to their suppliers. The suppliers essentially fulfill the PO and send those parts back to the client. Then the client takes those POs and they enter them into they enter the parts into their system so that they know that they have those parts in their inventory. And essentially, I've written a program to help them verify that the supplier sent the right parts, and to enter those parts into the system once they verified they're the right parts in the right quantity. Now, the issue is, so there's this part where you start a new PO, you enter some initials. The PO number basically used to look like PO followed by some sequence of digits, which is just a sequential numbering system, but they all had this PO prefix. So just as an example, you can see here, let me blow that up a little bit. So in the database, that might look like, PO 12345, PO 12346, this is what the POs will look like in the database. What was happening though was the supplier might send it to them as lowercase PO 12345. And because they're just essentially, the program allows them to just scan the barcode that contains this information. Whatever the supplier was giving them, they were just scanning in, but because this was lowercase, it wasn't able to find it in the database because the lookup is case sensitive. They would also sometimes send it without the PO at the beginning. So again, it would look it up and it wouldn't be able to find it because it didn't exactly match, right? Like this does. Like these two things don't match exactly. Or sometimes they would add a pound character or a plus sign or something there, plus sign or a space or something. And again, that wouldn't exactly match. So essentially what I wrote my program to do to make these more consistent is it would take the initial input. So for instance, PO 12345, then it would remove any alpha characters. So it'd make it 12345, just like that. Then at the time of database lookup, it would re-add PO to the beginning. So it would always consistently look that up. Now, the issue is the new PO numbers that they started doing, the process change I was talking about, is they removed the PO from the beginning. So now, a PO might look something like this. So if they go to enter this into the system, my program will first remove any alpha characters. So it won't remove anything. It'll just be the same thing. And then at the time of lookup, it'll re-add that PO. And of course, this is not how it looks in the system anymore because they removed the PO prefix. So essentially, that's what we need to fix today. And just as an example, so this is the client or a sandbox of the client system that I have set up. I'm going to blur out some of this stuff so that keep some of their suppliers and their name a secret. But you can see the old POs. This is how they looked. They'd have a PO prefix followed by some digits, followed by some digits, which were sequentially numbered, but it doesn't look like that here, but they're just sequentially numbered POs. And then this is what the new ones look like. They are just digits. There's no PO prefix. So But you can see here's a valid one that's in the system. And if I try to look that up, so I go, hold on, let me minimize that. So if I go try to look up 1000102, it'll say could not find that. Please try a different PO, even though I know it's a valid PO number. So essentially that's what we're going to be fixing today. So here we have the code base. I've already kind of identified two of the areas I think need fixing in order to fix the bug. We'll change these two areas, and if they fix it, cool. If not, we'll come back and find more issues if we can. But essentially, this bit of code right here is what is reading in that PO number. So when we go to hit new PO, and then you can see here we have enter the PO number, that's the title, PO number, that's the prompt, and then whatever the output from this. So let's say we put in PO 12345, that's what gets stored in PO number here. So okay. Then after we get that PO number, we're doing a regex replace on PO num, which is what we got from that dialog box. And that regex replace is just going to replace anything that isn't a digit with the blank character. So regex replace takes the input, the pattern, and then if you don't supply it anything, it just replaces it with nothing. But I could also like say, we want to replace anything that isn't a digit with the letter A or something. But if you just leave that third parameter blank, it just supplies it or just replaces them with nothing. Basically just removes them, is what that's doing. So we take this and we take the output of that and we put it into PO number. So essentially now we just want to take the raw input from PO num. So we don't want to edit it at all. Then what we want to do is at the time where we look it up in the database, I believe there's two queries where you can see here, we select status from P order, which is the purchase order, or PO table. And we're doing that where the PO number is equal to PO and then is equal to PO followed by the PO number. So we want to remove that PO prefix and just look up the raw PO number, whatever they supplied to us. And then there's one other area down here where we do a similar lookup. And again, we add the PO prefix, but we want to remove that PO prefix so that it doesn't, because we don't need it to add that back anymore. Okay. So that should have fixed the problem, but let's give it a shot. So if we go and reopen the program and we'll start a new PO process. Now, if we enter that PO that we know is good, it brings us to the next step and doesn't give us that, hey, we couldn't find it error, which is what we want. Just to verify, let's go in here and make sure it still works with an old PO as well, such as PO 34480. So let's try that. So if we go in here and we do, yes, we want to do a new PO, and we'll do PO 34480, and that works as well. So it seems to be working now. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys found that interesting. If you did and you want to see more videos like this where I talk about AutoHotkey or talk about my development process with automation solutions, or how I turn a process into AutoHotkey code, or just AutoHotkey in general, feel free to let me know down in the comments. If you use AutoHotkey or something like that, feel free to share some of your interesting stories down below in the comments as well. If you like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing to the channel. If you haven't checked out my N-Curses videos already, I recommend going to check those out if you're interested in command line programs. It's a pretty useful library for that kind of stuff. Again, I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.